The next piece is flying, and we made another beautiful set in the airplane hangar, and some CGI, some computer-generated imagery to make it work. Look at the sky and the city. Those are real gargoyles there, inspired by the Chrysler Building. It's Claudia and myself dreaming about flying, and people from the audience.
Stand over here. This gentleman right here, come with me. Stand right over here, and you can keep going backstage. What is your name?
This was shot in Broward County Performing Arts Center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Beautiful theater.
Your name is Bambi? Are you serious?
Flying pieces are kind of a staple of my show.
Miss, fine. Bambi, your name is really Bambi?
The examination of the box. We've had guys do everything to this box. We've had guys beat the box, kick the box, try to molest the box. We've gone through a few boxes.
I do want to go home with some of these props. Examine this side. Go for it. Are you sure you're not Thumper? Come over here. I want you to examine the lid. Yeah, maybe you too. This is the lid of the box. Make sure it's solid, nice and strong. Lift it up over your head. I'm just kidding. Come over here.
The object was to make flying really credible on TV.
Bambi, you too.
You know, so much flying has been done in movies and on TV.
Any dreams where you fly?
No.
Perfect, good.
I had just taken an airplane ride with Terrence Stamp, and he told me how he hated flying in movies because they would leave him in the air, hang in there, while they relit the scene, you know. They just make him wait. So he really, you know, the British actor Terrence Stamp really did not want to fly. You know, we had people on stage so that we could have the feeling of surroundedness, so people could see it from all angles, because it really did look good. And we wanted to get rid of the two-dimensionalness of it that we were going to have with TV. When you're in a theater, you can move around and kind of look around and see the dimension of it all. And we're so used to seeing flying in the movies and on TV that it really did look good live. So we really wanted to, you know, share that with the home viewer. For me, flying was my dream since I was a kid. I really did dream of flying. I really wanted to fly. And I spent a few years, you know, rehearsing in pools and training and interviewing people what their dreams of flying were like for them personally, so that how I represented it on screen and on stage closely matched what people's idea of flying really was in their dreams. We put those clouds in the scene so there would be depth and you'd have some kind of point of reference. That's a Saker Falcon. That's Icarus, our Saker Falcon that toured with us for a year, and it had his own condo in the bus. Really beautiful accommodations. He traveled with us. Again, we had those clouds behind, so you'd see a point of reference, how high I was going, how far I was going. It's something we don't use on stage because you don't really have to, but on TV it was important so that you could see how far I was going, how high I was going. It actually feels really good to really immerse yourself in the feeling and into the moment, flying past the people so that they really can get the feeling of what I'm doing. I had a talk with Christopher Reeve about this, and we shared the consideration that it's all about the landing, you know. How you land is everything, and how you take off. Those moments are very, very important. He really cared about how his flying looked in the Superman movies. What was important for me was to make it so it wasn't like all the movies with special effects. So we added hoops and a plexiglass box and, you know, first of all, the classic pass the hoop over something floating. We did it with 2 hoops. My dad came up with the idea of attaching hoops together and having them spin together and pass over me, which is, I think, a pretty good idea. And I think my best idea that I had was adding the plexiglass box. This really made it a piece of magic. Barclay Shaw once did a levitation what's called an aga levitation and used a plexiglass box with a whole different method, whole different technology. But that inspiration inspired the idea of putting this kind of thing in a plexiglass box setting and still having freedom of movement while you're surrounded by glass on all sides. Made it into an illusion, I thought. And Michael Dimich again came up with the idea of having the camera go all the way around, lights twinkling at us as I'm floating inside the solid plexiglass box, and doing the kind of the mirror walk. Finally, all attachments get disproved. One of the better things that we've done. Peter Foy, who builds the systems of making flying work in all the Peter Pan plays, came to see our show, and this fooled him. He came backstage and he told me how he was fooled by it, which was very, very flattering coming from somebody that has done that for a living. Not the same technology, of course, but taking the idea of flying and putting it on the stage. It was a real compliment. Flying with a girl is something that we added after doing it a year, because we thought, what could you do that would be more spectacular than just flying around? Well, get somebody out of the audience and fly with her. And we did it. And it got an amazing response. Not just from the girl, but from the audience too. This is a great shot coming up. That is terrific. We've had girls get kind of scared, actually, sometimes. They hold on tight, which is a good thing. And here comes Icarus again. I got a little food in my hands. And there he goes. This flying piece was so difficult, not only for me, but for my crew. It was very difficult for my team to do every day, especially doing a different city every day. And the first time we did it, I was already doing water levitation in the show, the whole water levitation piece. And I wasn't really sure how the people were going to react. And after we did the flying in its most basic, raw form, the audience stood up and they immediately started cheering. And all my crew looked at each other and goes, uh-oh, we're stuck. We're going to have to do this for a lot of years now. We have to work this hard every day. And but eventually they realized how worth it really was, because it got easier and easier to do for all of us. And it's really worth it.